Let's be clear, this is not your average book review. Think of this as a strategic briefing based on Nobel Prize-winning work. We're about to hand you the user manual for your own mind, an operator's guide for gaining a serious edge in a world full of irrational players. This quote, it should really make you stop and think. What Kahneman is really saying here is that the biggest threat to your success isn't the market, it isn't your competition, it's the blind spots in your own thinking. And let's be brutally honest for a second. This isn't just some theory. This ignorance shows up in the real world as bad hires, as failed projects, and as losing investments that you just can't seem to let go of. It is a multi-million-dollar liability, and it's hiding in plain sight. So let's put a name to this enemy. The single greatest threat to your wealth and your company's future isn't a competitor, it's not a market crash, it's a series of predictable, systematic errors in judgment that you are literally programmed to make over and over again. And that enemy has a name: cognitive bias. Now the key word here is systematic. This has nothing to do with being unintelligent. These are predictable glitches in the human operating system, and they're as reliable as gravity. So why do these glitches even exist? Well, it's because your brain is running on some seriously ancient software. It's optimized for making quick, good enough decisions to help you survive in the wild, using mental shortcuts. And these shortcuts are great for everyday life, but they fail spectacularly when the stakes are high in business.
So, how do we fix this? Well, first we have to understand the architecture of the mind. See, Kahneman's groundbreaking discovery was that you don't just have one mind. You actually have two competing systems running the show at all times.
So, meet System 1. Let's call it the autopilot. It's fast, intuitive, and always on. It's your gut feeling. Then there's System 2, the pilot. It's slow, logical, and takes real effort to use. That's your rational mind. Now here's the kicker that changes everything. Your fast, emotional autopilot is running the show about 95% of the time.
And here's the core of the problem. Your conscious, rational mind, System 2, is lazy. It gets tired pretty easily. So, most of the time, it doesn't do the hard work of actually analyzing a decision. Instead, it acts more like a press secretary, taking that gut feeling from System 1 and just creating a rational-sounding story to justify it after the fact.
Okay, so let's get specific. How does this flawed system actually sabotage your wealth? We're going to break down 4 of the most destructive mental glitches that cost entrepreneurs millions.
First up, loss aversion. Now this isn't just about disliking losses. Kahneman proved that the emotional impact of a loss is about twice as intense as the feeling of an equivalent gain. That's a fundamental imbalance in how your brain processes risk.
Just think about the math of your emotions here. Losing $10,000 feels twice as bad as gaining $10,000 feels good. And this powerful imbalance forces you into making irrational decisions. It makes you play defense to avoid pain instead of playing offense to create value.
So why does this matter? Well, it's why your customers stick with an inferior competitor. The pain of switching just feels bigger than the potential gain. It's also why you hold on to that failing project or that losing stock, just hoping it'll come back, because selling would mean making that loss real and feeling that 2x pain.
Next is the sunk cost fallacy. This is that voice in your head that says, we've already invested way too much to quit now. It makes you throw good money after bad because you're focused on past investments that are already gone instead of on future potential.
Here is the mental tool you need to defeat this fallacy. The money you've already spent is gone. It's irrelevant. The only question a rational investor asks is this: based on what I know right now, today, what's the best place to invest the next dollar?
The third glitch is one Kahneman called the most dangerous of all, especially for leaders: overconfidence. We are literally programmed to believe the coherent stories we tell ourselves, no matter the quality or the quantity of the actual data. We systematically overestimate our own abilities and the accuracy of our forecasts. And this leads directly to the planning fallacy. Every entrepreneur has lived this. Kahneman himself experienced it. He was part of a team designing a curriculum that they estimated would take about 2 years. It took 8. We focus on our best-case scenario, and we just ignore the statistical reality of similar projects. It is a systematic and incredibly expensive error. And finally, confirmation bias. Your brain just doesn't like to be wrong. So once you have a hypothesis, that a certain strategy will work or a certain candidate is the right hire, your mind automatically starts searching for evidence that confirms you're right, while conveniently ignoring any evidence to the contrary.
Okay, we've identified the bugs in the software. So now, how do we install the patch? Let's talk about the practical tools for building a rationality engine inside your decision-making process.
Now, this is a crucial point. You can't get rid of System 1. You can't just turn off your intuition or biases through sheer willpower. The entire strategy is to learn how to recognize the situations where these biases are most likely to pop up, these cognitive minefields, and then deliberately slow down and engage your analytical system too.
This is one of the most powerful tools ever designed for making better decisions, the pre-mortem. Before you launch a major project, you get the team in a room and you set the scene. It's 1 year from now, this project has failed spectacularly. I want you to write down exactly why. In just 10 minutes, this simple exercise shatters overconfidence, it bypasses groupthink, and it forces the real risks out into the open.
Here are a few more quick-fire tools for your arsenal. First, fight the planning fallacy with the outside view. Instead of asking, how long will our project take, you need to ask, how long did other similar projects take? Statistics don't lie. Second, use checklists for complex decisions. They force your lazy system 2 to wake up and pay attention. Third, in negotiations, always be aware of the very first number mentioned, the anchor, and then actively work to reset it. Finally, create a risk policy. Pre-decide your rules of engagement before emotions run high, so you make rational choices, not reactive ones.
So, the big takeaway is this. Rationality isn't some academic trait. It is the ultimate form of business leverage. In a world where pretty much everyone is running on flawed mental software, the person who can systematically debug their own thinking holds an almost unfair advantage.
You now have the map to the cognitive minefield. You know the hidden rules that your own mind is playing by. So the only question left is, what are you going to do about it? Starting tomorrow, how will you play the game differently?